Welcome to Podcast, the Business of Dentistry podcast, brought to you by Practice Plan. Podcast delivers the best business advice, real-life stories, and practical hints and tips to make your practice a more profitable and sustainable business. And now, here's your host.
Hello, I'm Amy Hansford, a Regional Support Manager for Practice Plan. Welcome to this edition of our Practice Plan podcast. I'm often in practice discussing overall business plans and in particular marketing and how to attract the right people for the practice. Often we start at looking what's happening with our internal marketing. Are we utilising the database and seeking from our patients word of mouth referrals? Today, discuss in more detail increasing your word of mouth referrals, giving you my top tips. So my first tip would be to provide a truly remarkable experience for your patients. So ensure when your patient's walking through your door that each small part of their patient journey has been well thought through, from visual to sensory to the warm welcome they receive when they walk through the door. I've recently had an experience with a practice of mine hitting the 2,000 patients on plan mark. So I was discussing with the principal owner of the practice what was the magic with the patient numbers, their success month on month. The principal dentist summed up her thoughts. She said, right people in the practice now, from the moment the patient walks in, they experience a buzz and a great atmosphere. Our team have protocols that they follow, and hopefully the patient leaves not only satisfied but with a great story to tell in terms of a positive experience. So have a think yourself about your patient journey and the small changes that you could make to not only be exceptional but remarkable. This in turn will lead to those all-important referrals assisting patients, family and friends. So secondly, this might sound like an obvious one, but actually ask your patients for referrals within your protocols. An example would be to include your referral cards and wording within thank you for choosing us cards or post-treatment packs, for example. Choose what value of treatment or what type of treatment that you think this should be included in, and then you know that it's not going to be missed at those all important times. Perhaps you could send letters or emails to your patients to say we're welcoming patients just like you. Please refer us to your friends and family again. We do have draft wording at Practice Plan that I share with my practices, which has worked really well in the past. My third tip for you, consider creating spread the word cards. Now, I've seen some lovely spread the word cards that our artwork team have done for us before for our practices. They do fabulous posters. We've got little boards to stack the cards in. We create slides for people to run through their TV. Remember to have a look at your signage outside. That's something else missed. Make sure it's really obvious from outside the practice what you offer inside the practice. So we've helped practices mock up what your signage would look like, and making sure that when people pass the practice, they can see where you are from all directions. It's a small change, but it can make a big difference. My fourth tip for you, consider offering a referral incentive. So a thank you to those loyal patients referring in their account or a voucher. Have a chat to your patients and ask them what would be most appealing, and ensure you react in a timely way so that when the patient's friend or family member comes in, they receive their response from you. So a warm thank you from one of the team. They could phone them, they could drop them an email, and just let them know that really appreciate that recommendation and the credit's been applied or the voucher note, etc. And hopefully that will encourage them then to consider anyone else that they'd like to refer in. My fifth tip, utilise your social media to tell your patients' stories. This is obviously a great place to showcase what it is that you're doing at the practice, the patient journey and the experience that they're going to have. We all know patients can literally have life-changing experiences, so it's tapping into the emotional side of what you're doing for people and how you can change people's confidence and their overall well-being. So follow practices you aspire to, gain ideas and knowledge that could support you with future strategies. There are some practices that do this so well, so it's worth having a follow of some of those other practices to see how they're doing it. Look at feedback services. I've seen working feedback work very well in terms of sharing reviews from patients. They do it in a timely way, so it's all fresh reviews on the website, because I know sometimes a patient might go to a website and the reviews from 3 years ago. This is really lovely because you can see a review from somebody that's just been in the practice recently. They moderate the reviews and then they load onto your website, optimizing your Google reviews also. I've had a chat with John from Working Feedback. They say they've evidenced the closer you ask for a review, the higher the success rate. My sixth tip is around building relationships with influencers. So can you identify influencers in your community and build relationships with them, whereas they can promote your business to their followers and provide those valuable word of mouth referrals? My seventh tip: who better to promote your practice than your staff? And do they have referral cards? When I worked in practice, I was always amazed at the amount of people that would chat to me about teeth when they worked out that I worked in dentistry. And obviously I was a raving fan of our practice and often sent referrals in. So use your raving fans, add them to your system as a referral source and thank them when a referral books in. My eighth tip: see if you can network in your local area. So an example of this would be attending a local group to do a talk, give something back to your local community, and at the same time build relationships and an awareness of who you are in your practice culture. When I was in practice, I used to love visiting schools, which is another lovely way to do something good, educate and hopefully leave your imprint for future. Now, this did involve me dressing up as a toothbrush and a toothpaste on different occasions. So it's a bit of fun and it's something that you'll remember. And then again, you can share about this through your newsletter or in your social media platforms. So my ninth tip: do dentists from other practices refer into you for services such as straightening or implants? Now, this is a strategy I really enjoy exploring with practices. It's another great way to attract patients and spread the word. And my final tip for you, tip 10, whoever or wherever the referrals are coming in from, always remember to say thank you. Be imaginative, be creative, create a news story. I can remember a great example of this. I had a practice that sends flowers to people's workplace to say thank you. And what a great way to create a buzz and a conversation about why they've received those flowers. So hopefully that's given you lots of ideas about how you can use word of mouth referrals to build your business. Thanks for listening. If you do need any support yourself, please do reach out to Practice Plan. We are always very happy to help.